going on, Jerome's? So Minnesota Vikings general manager Kwesi Adofo-Mensah has absolutely been cooking for the second offseason in a row in free agency and really getting after things and helping support this rooster and fortifying the trenches, both on the offensive line as well as defensive line, bringing back Murph at corner. You're bringing guys like Isaiah Rodgers, low-risk, high-reward spot with Jeff Okudah, etc. So Kwesi has been very good navigating free agency over the last two offseasons, and yes, indeed, stunting on them hose. But, of course, one of the main reasons why the Vikings have had to go so hard in the paint in free agency is that the draft, and so it does go both ways. Do I think Kwesi has improved year over year? Yes. But a lot of people just write him off because of what happened in the 2022 draft class, right? And it's hard to ignore because, like we said, a ripple effect of the Vikings not getting any significant contributors from the 2022 class per se led the Vikings to have to go hard in the paint in free agency. I mean, Asama not working out, Ed Ingram not being a decent starter directly led to having to sign Will Fries. Andrew Booth not panning out directly led to bringing back Murph as well as bringing in Rodgers. Same thing with the Caleb Evans at corner. I mean, this draft class was supposed to be dudes, man. I mean, Ty Chandler not being able to stay on the field. I mean, that's why Jordan Mason was all up in there, and Vidarian Lowe. I mean, there's lots of woulda, coulda, shouldas with this draft class, but at least Lewis Cine and Nick Muse won a Super Bowl, right? And with Cine, I know. Was he starting before he broke his leg as a rookie? No. But did that greatly impact how he was going to approach things in his second and third year? Yes. Yeah, but again, something you do respect about Kwesi is that when Cine and Booth weren't cutting the mustard, they weren't just going to take up a roster spot to soothe his ego. And a lot of GMs around the league, hey, I drafted that guy first and second round. He is staying on this team throughout his rookie deal. Coaches just work it out. Kwesi was able to admit his mistake and move on. And, it should have been a mistake. Yeah, fully understand that, but it's not what happened. So if you look at another thing to keep in mind. So if you look at a draft class and you're like, well, ideally we should be getting multiple starters from day three. It's not really how things break down. So this is a great approximation from Orange and Brown Report. First round, about 50% of players drafted in the first round developed into solid NFL starters or better. Second round, about 33%. From there, it drops precipitously. So third round, 16%. Fourth round, 8%. Fifth round, 4 to 5%, sixth and seventh round, 2 and 1 to 2% respectively. So your chances of finding solid starters, let alone superstars, for as it goes along, it gets a little bit rough. So overall, looking from fourth round on, it's not uncommon for teams not to have strong contributors. And frankly, if you do find a starter or a stud in the fourth, fifth, sixth, seventh round, I mean, that's really fantastic. And looking back at some older drafts, notably, let's look back at 2015, baby. Yeah. So getting a guy like Stephon Diggs in the fifth round, anomaly, absolute shocking anomaly. I mean, let alone going down Tom Brady was a 6th round pick. All that nonsense. So besides Diggs, just going back through the Spielman years, where's a 5th round or later player that became a star? I mean, Blair Walsh for 2 seconds, sure. It's really tough to see. Jumpin' Joe Webb, I love it. But yeah, historically, day 3. John Sullivan. There you go. John Sullivan was a solid starter at center for the Vikings for a long time. Came in a 6th round pick. But how many draft classes are we going through where you just find nothing? 5th, 6th, 7th round, and even 4th. And guess what? I mean, a lot of these guys came in with similar promise. But looking back at 2022, just sort of write that off. I mean, Speedy Naylor is a solid wide receiver 3 in a contract year. Maybe he gets paid here or somewhere else. But him as a 6th round pick, that's actually extremely good. And then 2023, Kwesi's second draft, you look at the day 3 selections and carry on my J-Word son, solid special teamer, good backup. I mean, that's basically what you want. Because every single draft, I feel like the baseline, you get one really good starter or star. You get 2 or 3 decent starters, and then a couple of backups. Or hell, maybe it should just be 2 decent starters on top of the 1 star, and then everyone else backup. I think that's a really damn good draft. And sometimes you're blinded by the light because you get multiple studs, like that 2015 draft class where, hey, getting Kendricks in the second round, Trey Waynes was starter for a while, Daniil frickin' Hunter in the third round, and then Stephon Diggs in the fifth round. Like that's an absolute anomaly. That's a legitimately great draft class, and that just doesn't happen all that often. I mean, sure, you would like for it to, but it's always funny to me. How come the GM always gets blamed for the player not developing and not the player or the coaches? It's always weird. But 2023 draft class greatly improved. So you got Addison in the first round. And now a lot of people say, well, Addison just sort of fell into his lap because of the run on receivers. So with Jackson Smith and Jigba and Flowers and Quentin Johnston. But, I mean, the Vikings could have drafted someone else. The Vikings could have drafted Will Levis. How that worked out, right? But Addison has been rock solid as a wide receiver too, and Kwesi made that pick. Blackman was slated to start last year at corner before he tore his ACL in the first day of training camp. Then, I mean, the rest of it, I mean, Shaquille Roy, he's gone. Dwayne McBride, he gone. Jaron Hall, he gone. All right. And then 2024, it's really hard to say that Kwesi's terrible at drafting when we don't know what's going to happen with J.J. McCarthy or Diamond Dallas Turner yet. Because if both of those guys turn out to be studs, if J.J. McCarthy is the franchise guy, guess what? Kwesi is an absolute genius when it comes to drafting. And he's only had 3 drafts, right? And as we said, he has gotten precipitously better. I feel like the first year, the trade down with the Lions, like it just felt like he was trying to prove how smart he was, and maybe that didn't pan out. Also, noteworthy that Kwesi, the buck stops with him, but he does get a lot of input and collaboration from the coaches. So 2022 was a pretty defensive heavily draft. Look at Lewis Cine, Andrew Booth, Asama, Asezi Atamuo, Caleb Evans. How much input did Ed Donashell have? Right, so maybe we're blaming the wrong person because guess what? Defensively, last 2 drafts and Flores has had input. Blackman is going to be a stud. Kerryon, my J-Word son, is decent. Kyrie Jackson, rest in power, could have been in the starting mix if you and also you look at Levi Drake Rodriguez, who I think LDR is going to be a stud down the line. So that's what matters. And this draft, I mean, if McCarthy turns out to be the guy, Diamond Dallas Turner turns into Brian Burns 2.0, and Rouse and Juergens at minimum are solid offensive line depth. Will Reichard is Will the frickin' Thrill. That's a damn good draft class. And on top of that, we haven't even talked about the UDFAs yet. So Kwesi, I know people say, well, Kwesi is only good at signing undrafted free agents. It's actually harder than drafting because if you draft a player, he's just there on your team. UDFA, they're literally free agents. You have to give them incentive to sign with your team because they can sign with any team out there. And the fact that Kwesi has been pretty damn good with UDFAs speaks to the scouting, the deep scouting, as well as persuasiveness in putting out that contract. So Ryan Wright, 2022, has been a average to slightly above average punter. Ivan Pace Jr. is a star. And then you look this year, Newton McLaughlin is going to be in that cornerback mix. Bo Richter, Gabriel Murphy, Jashawn Jones. So overall, the Vikings over the last couple of years have been very solid with UDFAs. And again, it really does all start and end with 2022. It just sort of is what it is. Oh, but other teams don't have bad drafts. Okay, what about the Packers 2021 draft class? Stokes, gone. Myers, gone. Amari Rodgers, terrible. Royce Newman, bad. Tadaro Slayton, gone. Shamar John Charles, really damn good. 0 All-Pros, 0 Pro Bowls, and only a fistful of multiple starting seasons for these jabronis. And right now, the gold standard is the Eagles. Respect. Quinnen, DeJean, Jalen Carter, Nolan Smith, Jordan Davis, Cam Juergens is starting center now. Devontae Smith, Landon Dickerson, highest paid guard at the time in the league. Milton Williams got paid by the Patriots. I mean, these are some really damn good drafts. But also, I mean, just looking at later round draft picks, like there isn't a whole lot going on, and that's kind of how it works. And even if you look at, say, 2020. Outside of Jalen Hurts in the second round, I mean, this draft gets pretty weak. I mean, Jalen Reagor, yes, we did like Reagor in the draft, slightly more than Justin Friggin Jefferson. It is what it is. But the rest of it, not so much. And even the draft before that, Andre Dillard was a bust. Miles Sanders was okay at best. J-Jaw was supposed to be that guy, clearly was not. And then you look at the draft after that, Goddard in the second, rock solid as a tight end. Josh Sweat is a star. Jordan Mailata in the seventh frickin' round, becoming one of the best left tackles in the game. Anomaly. Absolute anomaly. But sometimes this is exactly what you need. Like, sometimes there is a little bit of puck luck, especially when it comes to day 3 picks. And the Vikings, sometimes they have it, sometimes they don't. And, you know, with Howie Roseman with the Eagles, like, it isn't all sunshine and rainbows, but sometimes you get on a heater, and that's what has been going on with Philly the last couple of years, especially with the high draft picks. And when you consistently hit on those high draft picks, you're going to have a very damn talented roster. And also if you get lucky with a little bit of the day 3 selection. So 2022, it is what it is, you know, like we said. But 2023 is certainly looking up. I mean, Addison continues to do his thing. Blackman, if he develops into a starter. And then 2024, I mean, McCarthy, if he's that guy. Diamond Dallas Turner, yes. I mean, all of a sudden, it's looking really damn good in terms of Kwesi drafting. So, I mean, this year, the Vikings certainly have a chance to change the narratives, right? And also, maybe it's a good thing that Kwesi doesn't have a lot of draft picks, because maybe he can't screw him up that bad. No. Either way, I just know that we're going to have a bunch of really good UDFAs. That's how we roll, man. But long story longer, I feel like Kwesi's improved every year, and just the blanket, Kwesi sucks at drafting notion, it's played out, it's a trope, it's sort of whatever. But has gotten better. 2023 was better than 2022. If things pan out, 2024, especially the aggressive mindset of going up and getting your guys, could pay dividends long term. Especially will the throw works out. Maybe Juergens or Rouse snatches a starter spot. LDR gets in that defensive line mix. All of a sudden, this looks like one of the better drafts in 2024. So I guess we'll see. Anyways, your thoughts are thoughts. Does Kwesi suck at drafting? Let us know. Comment section. You guys are the best. You know what to do. Skull production value.